The meaning of life is not universal is the topic that we chose for this, just because we wanted to get different perspectives from different people. Everyone in this world is different. I don't care if you're the same race, if you're the same orientation, age, whatever.
Welcome to another episode of the Get Legit
Podcast.
Podcast. It's your boy Composed by Furb.
And I go by the name of Low Nose.
Hey man, we got some queens here today for y'all. And we're going to be talking about the topic of time. You know, sometimes our society, and maybe women themselves or other men or whoever it is, will put these time clocks on women. And we just want to hear you guys' perspective on it. So if y'all want to go around, Low, we know Paisley. Y'all know Paisley. She the woman behind the camera with the Get Legit. You know, you want to introduce yourself, Paisley?
I mean, you did it, but I'm Paisley Renee. Hey, y'all. Y'all finally see me in front of the camera.
Okay.
Hey y'all, Miss Top Chef. I'm taking my own Instagram. New to the crew.
What's up? It's Des. Alex.
Times three, yeah. So basically today, ladies, what we got going on is we're doing a series, if you didn't know, and it's on the meaning of life is not universal. Basically saying that people got different aspects of how they think about things, different perspectives on how people approach things. And, you know, we just wanted to get perspectives just from different demographic groups. Like, we had men on before. Now we got a group of women, and we just want to talk to you. But, like, just to go along with what Furb said, so, like, the time clock of a woman, and you hear that a lot, I guess, is mental, physical, a lot of attributes tied into that. I want y'all to just, like, chime in on what you think is going on with that. Like, is that even a thing, or from a woman's standpoint?
I think it's a duality. I think for sure there's always the concept of, you know, menstruation and when that ends. So there is like a physical aspect to the time clock. But I think, society has put a stamp on the time frame when you're supposed to have children. They used to say like your 20s. And then if you were not married or didn't have children after 20s, you were considered an old maid. Mm-hmm. So I think we're coming out of that a little bit now. More women are waiting later until they're more established or until they have more money to have children, and that's fine. More women are still having them in their 20s, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone should be allowed to put a mental time clock on that.
Right.
So from your perspective, you like there's not really a time clock. Everybody just get it how they
It's
get it.
at your own pace, because I feel like, not from my own experience, I had a child at an early age and up there in age. So my kids are like 10 years apart, almost 9.
Mm-hmm.
And just from both ends, sometimes I wish I probably would have been the girl that kept going when I was younger and had more, and getting older in age and mentally, and just knowing what you have to deal with being a mother. Just having a child is one thing, but actually being there and being hands-on. My son just graduated from high school, so I actually, he's in college right now and working, so I actually was there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Along with, look, I'm street.
Yeah.
But I made sure my child, you know what I'm saying? So with that all in the thought process, I think a lot of women have that in their mind of they want to be financially on their own, stable, with regardless to what, if you're really thinking about being a mother. Because regardless of what, y'all can go.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Y'all do go. And it goes both ways, but it's mostly for the men to leave. So if you're actually thinking, I want to have a child, I want to go through watching my stomach grow, feeling my baby, going through school, teaching, tying shoes.
Yeah, definitely. That's an experience,
Man,
right?
you just gave so much game just now. Just listening to you, I kind of want to. You said something else, like you said you said stable, you said established. Even there, those time clocks. You know, now with the women, you know, you guys have been so incredible and so pivotal in recent years and recent decades. Even with like careers, do you guys feel any pressure with there, or if you don't, do you feel empowered from that? I don't want to make it like a diagnostic thing.
I never felt a pressure as far as career-wise, because I knew I was at an early age knowing that I wanted my child. So I dropped out of school, and I just been about getting money. It was career or not.
Right.
And make sure he went to school and graduated. It just so happened worked out for me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I got a couple friends, you know, that it worked out for them as well as some that it didn't. But that was in our generation, if y'all don't notice, it's not a thing for teen pregnancy anymore. You don't see that much. and you don't see like.
What you mean by that? Like it's not a thing for team. Like
You
it's
don't
not
see-
a big deal no
It's
more.
not. You don't see pregnancy anymore. It's like they already have in their minds they don't want kids, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's kind of if y'all really think about it, like you don't see. What I don't know how old you guys are, but it was 3 or 4 of us walking around school pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
get
saw
what
that
you're
in our
saying.
You know what I'm
school.
saying?
I do
So-
remember saying that. I don't
It's
see that.
You saying it's a rare, it's a rare thing now. They're not getting pregnant younger as more. Is that what you saying?
Right, and I feel like it's because society probably has pushed on them.
Those timers. You got to get this done first. You got to have this.
Yeah, go to
you know.
school, and go do. No, and it's hindering, I think, to a degree. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to get older in age, and you're like, dang, I done did all this, and time clock ticking because of science. And what's going in your natural body, what's going to happen, and dang, I've been trying to get my education. I could have had me a baby, raised me a baby, and been happy, really, because now I'm miserable because I want a baby, and I got to go through all this, and, so.
Okay.
So to kind of just go back onto what you were saying as far as for the career situation, there is definitely, I feel like it's a time clock, but like she said, I think it should be your personal experience. That's what it should be, but unfortunately, it's not always that way.
Why is it? Why
I
do you
feel
think
like for me, I feel like it's not always that way because sometimes culture plays a major role. Because I'm Haitian, and Haitians, like, they just have this strict timeline for you from the time that you're born to the time that you adult.
Right.
Shout out
And
to the Haitians.
I'm trying to
Stop,
tell
I
you,
say.
la boule. So it's like that. There is a time clock on career, on when you're married, on when you have kids. It in the culture, for culture, it matters. And outside of that, I feel like it matters too, even though it shouldn't. But unfortunately, that's what it is, because if I tell you I'm 32 and I'm not married and I'm still trying to figure life out, you'll look at me like, no kids.
Or I'm
like,
just not
what-
gonna deal with you
you
for
know,
anything,
like, what
so
is
I'm
it? Like,
not-
what? Typically, it's one of those, what's wrong with you? That's what you
Right.
get at this
So-
age.
right.
Question. I got a question. What about those people that'll say like, well, it's the women that hold themselves to that. They rush. They want to get the best job. They want to graduate first. What about that? What y'all say to that? What you think
I would
about
say that that's true. I think women want things for ourselves
Mhm.
because
Our own
we want them.
stability.
It's
so
the scrutiny
I don't,
for
and I don't even
choice.
think it's a scrutiny. And I don't think I can't say because I don't know. I've never heard a woman say, I'm not having children because I put a standard on myself and it'd be a negative thing.
Right.
Or, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because I'm different. I chose to follow my career and to start my career and to have that before I have children. Also, that's a minor part. The major part is really finding a partner who I can have the child
Right.
with
The right
that is
one.
going to stay with me and help me raise the child.
But then that's where you fall back
So-
on just being stable on your own, because
Yeah,
it gets
so
to a
now-
point where you're like, okay, y'all like this guy, and of course, y'all having sex, and if y'all in a relationship, y'all not having sex with protection. So a baby may come, but at the end of the day, I know in my mind, I want my baby, and I'm going to take care of my child.
But
Whether I
as
can
of
get
right now,
along
I
with
don't
him.
want one because I haven't done what I wanted to do in my career yet. So there are things that I've set for myself. I would like to be well traveled. I would have liked to do X, Y, and Z. And I know we were talking about a bucket list earlier.
Right.
So I didn't necessarily have a bucket list, but there were things that I was like, oh, I want to do these things. And that is not to say that having a child will limit me
Hinder
or
you.
enable me or hinder me from
Right.
doing that. But I kind of wanted to do it for me. It's something I wanted to do for myself. When I have a child, I want to be able, I would hope that I am selfless and that I can give everything that I have to the nourishment and the upbringing of that child.
And you
So
will.
the standard that we put on ourselves, yes, we put it on ourselves. We never like, men out here want us to be
mother standard.
established.
Yeah,
Men out here want us to, no, we want,
Right.
But you
All right,
know,
but-
And that's
and
hold
a
on,
lot
hold
of-
on.
but you get a lot of that now with the times changing. It's because you just gotta sift, because you get men that say, hey, I'm good. I want to make sure you're good on your end for whatever reason, X, Y, and Z. I hear that a lot in too many conversations. It's now a thing of where men are not looking to be able to
Take care.
take care of you like men have known to being back in the day, and what they have should. It's just
Is
not.
that a good thing or
Okay,
is
hold
that
on,
a-
hold on,
I
hold on. So
think
it's
it's
gonna
a-
lead us in because I don't want to get too.
I know, y'all
Because
going so
we
good.
can
We
keep
over here
going.
just
No,
listening.
like it's great, it's great.
Yeah,
But it lead me into my next thing. Like I know somebody said something, and I ain't want to cut nobody off, but I like basically as women now, like, what's your relationship status? And, like, where do you want to be relationship-wise? Like, some people want to be married with children. Some people want to be independent. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Paisley.
Okay, so
like,
let me speak
you.
on that. Okay, so my status right now, I'm single. And I'm single by choice. Not because, I'm out here looking, I just can't find nobody because they here, but I just don't want to be bothered. But then it's like, I don't want to be bothered because it's like the men that's approaching me is not what I want.
Okay.
And if it's not what I want, why should I waste my time with something I don't even want to do?
So what, like, what's the standard? Like, what's the end goal?
Okay.
Like like your goal, if you had to put yourself in.
Oh, if I had to put myself out there right
now,
if I find somebody that meets the standards that I'm, or I'm willing to work with, 6 months, marry me, shoot the club up, you know what I'm saying? I am ready. Like, I have a kid, but I'm ready for another one.
Yeah, okay.
Like the
But
conversations
you
that y'all
sure
was saying.
with the person.
Yeah, it's like my kid, she's going to be 10 this year.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, that's a big...
She's
they're like,
for
you
a sibling probably.
Yes, it's not even that, but it's like I want that for her because it also teaches her responsibility.
Right, it does.
And I feel like if I do have a child, if she's 10 plus, I feel like right behind it, I'm gonna have another one because
you sound
she's
like me.
old. She's old. Like, what she gonna do with this baby?
Twins.
You know what I'm
Gonna
saying?
give me twins. Get it out the way.
I don't know about
I'm
that,
single
but
and looking though, so
Because you're gonna be.
It's a little different.
Back to back.
well, yeah, because it's
I got a couple homegirls that was pregnant for like 2 years because they went back to back.
I don't want that though. I feel like maybe like
so they
a year and a
got twins.
half apart.
Okay.
If I do have another child.
Because that's how they
So
should
is
be
it like,
too.
is it just end goal is marriage and,
Yes,
and
marriage
as many
with-
children
with-
as you need?
5. I say
Okay.
5. But it's like I'm 30, so it's like, okay, let me be realistic.
One of them time
2.
clocks that they
2.
put.
I'm
in.
a
But if I can keep going, if I can keep going, I'm gonna
keep
keep.
going and keep coming for you.
Yeah,
you,
for
you
sure.
in there.
So you in there, then you
Yeah,
gotta break the
that's it.
seal.
Listen, if
So
any guy
And you
out
put
there,
that
Hold on.
energy out there, and that's what you want. That's what you gonna get.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. But yeah, that's what I want.
So for me, I'm dating single in between, whatever you want to call it. I feel like I'm not going to really have anything official until I'm married, to be honest. And I think the situations has changed today when it comes to the dating field as far as for what you want, because before it was just like she said, I'm looking for a man for stability, but nowadays the times has changed for women where we're looking for stability within ourselves before we get there. So it is a hard situation dating right now, because is when we're in a place where it's just like men are looking for women who
Have their own.
and there's nothing wrong with that, but they're really looking for women who can take care of them.
Yeah.
And
It's a cover-up.
it's hard to find men who, and if like for me, like I'm still building myself. You get what I'm saying? It's hard to find a man who's gonna come in and say, "Let me help you
you
get
build
there."
yourself.
It's just like, well,
And be
you ain't got
genuine.
yourself
and be
together.
genuine though, because
And-
it'll happen,
yeah.
but it gotta be organic and genuine, my nigga. Like,
Yeah, it's just like, well, I can't help you because you can't help yourself. And it's just like, for you guys, for you two, like, as men, what's the fine line when you meet somebody who
I'ma
is
help with
like,
this. How
what
far-
is it?
how far
Because
does your
we're,
help go?
yeah, like,
Y'all
Is
ask
there a
us.
limit to your help?
Y'all the only ones.
I mean, yeah, I can answer that. The help is if you're meeting somebody, like you saying, if I'm meeting somebody and I'm trying to get to know somebody, how far does the help
No,
go?
you're in a relationship with a
Okay.
female, and you see that she's dedicated and devoted to trying to establish herself in whatever she's doing.
Oh yeah, I'm helping.
Do you
100%.
you have a help, and do you have a help timeline? Is it like, oh well, okay, I can only help this long?
I'm gonna be the
Are you
antagonist
really
here.
dedicated to
I mean,
helping?
but you,
Go ahead, let me hear it.
the thing that you gotta do is you gotta realize what help is. It's help motivation. It's help money.
Yeah,
Like,
all
that's what I'm
It's
saying.
all
So
of them.
it doesn't take a lot to give somebody motivation. It doesn't take a lot to share information with someone. It doesn't take a lot to get somebody started in the right direction. Because sometimes a lot of people are sitting on gold mines and they're sitting on big ideas and they just need that push. They need that nudge.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So if I'm rocking with somebody and they doing something, then yeah, I'm behind you 100% because that's what you want to do. If I'm supposed to be rocking with you, I would expect the same thing for me.
Right,
you know
right.
what I'm saying? And it's like sometimes people don't see the big picture until the picture's there to be seen. So if somebody got some shit going on and they really don't have anybody else to really like encourage them or help them or get it done, just the smallest thing can be that encouragement, can be that help. So yeah,
No,
I'm down
really.
with that.
Exactly.
Yes,
Should
that's
definitely
my
be an
answer.
equal beneficial arrangement.
Yeah.
Equal not being bilateral, but equal being whatever is lacking is met.
Yeah,
I think that
definitely.
should be
I mean,
between
teamwork. That's what it is. It's like if somebody
Right.
is lacking something, you fill it in with something else.
Exactly.
You know, and
Yep.
we're all grown. We can all learn. We can all get new talents, new attributes about ourselves that make us valuable. So at the end of the day, if you can do something or you can learn something that's going to help somebody else do something that they want to do, and you can share that with them, that's valuable.
Yep.
People pay for that. People consult for
Yeah.
that, you know, at the end of the day. But just giving
People
that to
trick for that
somebody is
too.
valuable.
People trick off for the same thing, you know,
Yeah.
because they look
Excuse me?
Yeah,
People
she said
trick
it right.
off for the same
For
thing.
information.
So, I mean, it
Yeah.
might, and I'm,
Good
no, I'm
information.
speaking. Nope, I'm
Like,
speaking.
you'll never believe
Tell us,
what-
give us some of these
I am
examples.
speaking on the real trick term. A man may pay for a woman's company because she probably adds some type of value to whatever he's lacking within his life, whether that be sexual, whether that be mental, whether that be emotional. He has the funds and the means to pay for her time, which she probably needs for whatever she needs it for. So I think just in human nature, it's always an equal beneficial arrangement of whatever is going on. Whether
It's
that be
about who
tricking or an
keeps their
actual
end of the
relationship.
bargain, really, when it comes to
But
How about what your
but
benefit
see,
is
this
to
is
me?
one thing that y'all didn't mention. Everything y'all mentioned, y'all said the guy, why don't they come in and do this if he see me working towards my vision? When you your example you gave where it's tricking or prostitution, whatever it is, they're focused on his vision. So he don't mind paying towards what's going on. So I think a lot of times we got to remember when you get into a relationship, and I'm not giving relationship advice, you know what I'm saying? But this is.
I don't think you should recline on that. If you've been in a relationship, you could give relationship advice. That's not something you need
But I mean, when
paperwork in school.
It's
for. I
just
don't
a
think-
different perspective.
It's just
Right, it's a
different
perspective.
perspectives. If you've actually had a long-term relationship, how did you not learn anything?
Right. So
How can you not give advice to the next person or a younger person under you?
no, I feel that.
You know, so
You're right.
don't never recline on saying, "No, I'm not." Whatever.
You done been through it.
But it's on you. You single?
I am single.
Okay.
So to go back on what I feel like you was heading to, since I was the one who brought it up, I was gonna say at the end of the day, I only mentioned on the women end only because you guys are talking about the women's
Absolutely.
standpoint.
Yeah, definitely.
But I do agree that you should pour into each other. So if I meet a man who is lacking in the area, of course I'm gonna encourage him. Of course I'm gonna help guide him. Of course I'm gonna do that, looking for that in return because I can't pour into somebody out of an empty cup.
Yeah.
So we
Right.
both
That's
have
what it
to
takes.
have to
Exactly.
be able to pour into each other. But unfortunately within society where it's hard to find that, you have to be like all your ducks got to be aligned for you to be even looked at or
Now, is that as a man?
Or
Or
So
consider
hold on. So
Or
what's so the
consider.
second part of that question? What's the end goal? Like what's end goal?
the end goal for me is marriage.
Okay.
Marriage, kids, a family, legacy, wealth.
So
That's the end goal.
Is the end goal for all the women here? I'm asking, is marriage and kids like in I guess the security of marriage?
You
Is
already
that the
answered
end
that?
goal?
No.
I mean, because I know
Look, I'm
people
gonna
that
tell
don't want
y'all
to get
in a
married. You know.
nutshell. I don't. Marriage, honestly, to me is I might run from you, because I feel like it's a setup. I encounter too many married men that care less about their wife, but they sleep with their wife and they're with their wife and they're married, and that's just gonna wrap that up, okay? So I can care less about a marriage. I want honesty, devotion, loyalty, overstanding,
Okay.
and we got an agreement, and it's a gun line.
Okay. Yeah. It's
So,
a line
as far
that you
as
don't
you-
cross,
it-
and it's
And
everything else is
everything else fall into place, because at some point it should be some type of respect.
yeah.
So if you're married to somebody and you're acting as you're not, like, you should just be. I don't know that I'm not, and I was with my ex for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Common law marriage.
I think marriage
And-
for me. I think marriage is the biggest. Marriage is the biggest investment you can make for yourself, because you're not only binding yourself to someone but an entire family.
If he loves you, and I feel like if he loves you and is in agreement with on me, you love me enough in agreement with me. No, I don't want that. Hey, my mind might change, but right now, no, I don't want that. I'm 36 years old. I don't have time. I don't want that. I want you to know what you want, and this is what we doing. And until then, I'm going to have fun and do what I want to do. And we move as such. But as far as putting, you know what you got to do. Why I got to make you and marry you for you to know? Like, it's not real if we got to go through all that. I seen that with older people. I mean, I just grew up with older people like they were not married, but
now she brought up
or are
you
married and
they
they separate. Like I know a couple older I call them parents, people that are married and not together in separate relationships, but they kept that bond. So I understand that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's just I don't know.
She was about to bring up a good point. What were you say? You said business.
So business-wise, so I used to work for a law firm when I was in my 20s, and most people who get married, who plan on having children together, or who plan on starting a business together, or anything of that nature, usually do get married because it's a security.
The investment.
It's a security investment.
It's
now
an
that
investment.
doesn't take away the feelings. Right. That doesn't take away anything emotionally that you feel for your partner. It doesn't take away the trust that I have to marry you to prove these certain things to you. But legally binding, there are certain things that you become entitled to once you do have that
and
marriage.
And he can make sure all that is in place without it being a marriage. He can have it already written, legally and binded with lawyers and.
How you feel about that, Paisley?
Sealed and signed.
I'm just taking it all in because
sealed and signed.
I can see where she coming from, but then at the same time, okay, so with me, I want marriage, right? But then it's like, I don't want it if you're going to waste my time or if this is how it's going to unfold.
And I don't want that hurt. That's why.
But the thing about what
from.
You guys are saying is that you have to put yourself in a place to, if you're going to truly love somebody and get married and get to that place, you have to be willing.
That's what you said. We don't want that hurt.
That's the thing. You
that.
have to be, and that's in any dating situation. You have to be willing to get hurt because that person won't always make you happy.
Exactly.
They won't always satisfy you.
And
but at the end of the day, that
marriage,
hurt. Those vows, what you stand for is what's going to carry you forward. You know, that's the person you're building with. That's what you're building legacy with that person.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I completely understand you, but you have to be able to put yourself in that position because it's gonna happen.
My thing is, if I put myself in that position, I have to know that you're gonna put yourself in that position.
Right. And
if they do that, it's a go for me. I'm marriage all the way.
And you know what? Let me tell you, and all that will only come through experience, and you won't know unless you put yourself in there.
That's where I'm at right now. I don't want to experience.
Y'all can actually.
My whole thing is that I need the marriage contract because if we have children and something happens to either one of us or we get divorced, I need to make sure that my children are taken care of because there are laws. I don't think people understand. Everybody's so emotional and my vulnerability, and that's fine. But there are laws. Like say if you're not married with the person because common law is not a law in Georgia.
Exactly.
So say if you have a child with the person, but you're not married to their father, that father now has no legal guardian rights over your child. Exactly. So now it goes to your next of kin who could be your sister that you don't even like and don't know. Exactly. So there are things that a marriage contract or marriage does provide that are outside of how my heart is, how vulnerable I am. But the thing is, when you find that person that you're willing to do both of those things with, that's what makes a marriage so powerful.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
I agree.
I wholly agree. Like I was saying, it's just coming from me.
Yeah.
I'm from Atlanta. I was in. We were common law marriage because we were in Florida. I just moved back. You know what I'm saying? So, and I was glad I did. I'm glad I didn't get married, and I'm glad I moved back, and it was no more coming. You know what I'm saying? So I'm speaking from both ends because it wasn't all bad. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm speaking from both ends, and I just feel like even right now with him, and he's way older than me.
So does that make you a boss?
I feel like it.
Next,
I
definitely
feel like it. I was a boss in the beginning, and I'm still a boss in it because I got out of it.
Okay, so like moving on.
I feel like a lot of women get married and stay in it and deal with it because I have a marriage, I'm husband and my wife and
what
my
is
paperwork,
a boss?
and I didn't care because I'm gonna get my own and I have my own. I can sustain my own.
All right, that's perfect. That's literally the perfect setup for where I'm going with this next.
Like, subscribe, and follow. We're excited to bring this to y'all, man.